Episode 50. It's getting hot in here. I'm really not that good at math. I failed my math class so many times I can't even count. All right, sit down, shut up, grab a snack. The 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast is about to begin. Hello and welcome to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to inform, entertain, delight. I didn't say titillate this time. To you everything about off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? Because that's about how long it's going to take to put the fire out. Hello and welcome to the show. I'd like to remind everybody you can catch 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on whatever the hell you're listening to it. Yeah, I know that joke's getting old. You can catch the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor, Podbean, some other crappy podcast hosts that I can't remember because they're insignificant. But you cannot catch the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on iHeartRadio or Pandora. Those bastards do not recognize me as a viable podcast. Even though I made $6 last month off this show. $6. Can you believe that? We're in the big time. Honest with you, I do this for free. But if they're willing to pay me $6, that is one Big Mac meal a month I get from this show. You guys are making me fat, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Got a comment about the show? Hey, let me know. Email the show at 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. That's 10offroad@gmail.com. I check the email about once every 50 years. So, if your comment will make the show. Comment on the YouTube videos. I post this on YouTube at 10-Minute Off-Road. And I also post it on my Nick G channel, where I post all my wheeling and wrenching videos and just about anything I do. I have a camera running 24/7 on me because, hey, But I am yet to make any money off of YouTube. YouTube, you cheap bastards, pay me. This is quality entertainment. I deserve to get paid for it. All right, moving along with the show. This week, I want to talk about camping again. Just went camping last month in December, right before Christmas. And luckily, we have some pretty cold weather, but luckily, on that day, it warmed up and we had some nice 70-degree weather. And I was very comfortable camping. Even though it rained and I was on a ground tent, or in a ground tent, but my ground tent's I was nice and dry. I was snug. Had a good time. We finished that trip up. And talking to the guys. All right, what's going to be our next trip? And I made the joke, somewhere warmer. Or somewhere warm, like the Everglades. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of apprehensive about going camping now. Right now, it's 37 degrees outside. That's a little too cold for me. Even though I have a heater to heat my tent, I don't like using it because me and fire don't mix. And I don't want to burn my tent down. Or at least melt myself to my sleeping bag. But I've been researching, and there's a lot of ways to heat your tent. And all of them is kind of scary to me. So I'm curious what you guys do. How do you heat your tent? Or do you even go camping winter? I've always said 60 degrees is my cutoff. If it's below 60 degrees, I don't go outside. Well, I do go outside, but I don't go camping out at night. But that's changed now. I give in to peer pressure quite a bit. And these guys talked me into camping. And this is second or third time I went camping with them. And it's been cold. Not cold, but coldish. And it's kind of got me over my fear. I'm not too scared of the cold anymore. I'm learning how to deal with it. Mostly because I got me a Mr. Buddy heater. And that kind of takes the cold out. Although I do not like how damp a propane heater makes the inside of my tent. I've recently come across a friend of mine went camping with So I recently went camping with some friends, and friend of mine, Camping Randy. Check out his YouTube channel. And he's on all the social media. He's a young hip guy that really digs that social media stuff. I would not be surprised if he's on TikTok. Although I think we talked about TikTok with him, and he agrees with me that it's the tool of the devil. Don't quote me on that. I think he does. But anyhow, he had a candle lantern called a candelier that's supposed to put out, I want to say 500 or 5,000 BTUs. 5,000 sounds high, but I'm not really sure what the hell a BTU is. But he had this little lantern that has these 3 candles in it. They're spring fed, so the candles are always fed, I guess. I don't know. But he claims you can cook. Well, not really cook, but you could boil water and heat some tea or coffee on top of it, and it heats a small area. I saw some YouTube videos on it. Nobody really gave it a test whether it heats or not. So I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to order one off of Amazon and throw it in my tent and see how, in a couple of hours, how well it heats it. I think I would prefer that as opposed to the propane heater. Mostly because the propane heater just gives off that watery condensation stuff. And they say that this candle lantern will dissipate or dry up condensation. And as you know, when you're tent camping or sleeping in a tent, condensation is your enemy. Your breath gives off condensation. So I'll let you guys know how that works out. Another thing I added this year to make my ground tent a little more comfortable is a mattress. I've always had the little foam backpacking mattress that you just, the self-inflating ones that you just throw out. And they give you about a half inch of foamy goodness to protect you from the ground. I did away with that this year. Last year I used 2, so I'd have a whole inch of foamy goodness. And then I thought, this is ridiculous. I went ahead and purchased a very cheap Walmart air mattress. I'm talking cheap. It was $12. And I pumped that up. And I got to tell you, it's making camping very comfortable. Although it's starting to take up a little bit of room in the Jeep. I have a nice big tote that I'm starting to fill up with stuff. And not to mention, all this stuff adds a little bit of weight, but I haven't been backpacking in years. I really believe my backpacking days are way behind me. Car camping is where it's at. I won't say I won't go backpacking, but I'm enjoying the comfort a little bit more. If I knew how comfortable camping could have been, I probably would have been doing this a long time ago. Now I have an instant tent. I just throw it out. It pretty much pops up and sets itself up. I got a chair, table. I got just about all the amenities at home. Now, if I could just figure out a way to pack a flushable toilet. I'm not talking about a cassette toilet, because believe me, not to get disgusting and talk about poop, but yes, I poop in the woods. I dig a hole just like a cat does, although it's not in the middle of your garden, so it's not just like a cat. But I dig a hole, poop in the hole, bury it, I leave it. I got a big problem with driving around with a big bucket full of poo in the back of my Jeep. And on that note, I am going to end the show. Yes, talking about poop. If you got a comment, I'm sure everybody's got a comment about the poop now. Contact me. I love the interaction. I'm not going to tell you how to contact me. If you want to do it bad enough, you'll find a way. I'm on all the social medias. Email us. I think I've already talked about all this, all the blah, 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 blah. Contact the show. And I don't want to be that guy that begs for reviews, but, get on the Apple Podcast or the Google Play or wherever you listen to this to and give me a review. And I'd say give me a 5-star review, but I'll take a 1-star review. I don't think there's anything less than 1 star, so you're stuck on that. Suck it up. All right. Until next time, this is Nikki G saying, "Will what you got and be happy." I really should watch a YouTube video on how to podcast because I think I could be good at this if I tried.